Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and today I'm going to show you how to make the best homemade peach cobbler using fresh peaches. Now, if you want to use canned or frozen, that's fine. I'll explain how to do that as we go along, but fresh is always best. First, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's get cooking. Who doesn't love peach cobbler, especially when you're working with beautifully ripened peaches like these? Now for this recipe, you're going to need 4 cups of peaches that have been peeled and sliced. So depending on what size they are, it's probably going to be right around 6 peaches. Now if you're going with frozen, it's that 1 pound bag of frozen peaches. If you're going with canned, it's the larger size can. I believe it's right around 30 ounces, and it's the peaches in syrup that you want to use. Now, aside from that, you're going to need 1.5 cups of self-rising flour. And if you don't have self-rising flour, just use regular all-purpose flour. Just add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt to it. You'll also need 2 cups of sugar divided, because we're going to be using 1 cup in the batter and the other cup in the simple syrup that we're making for the peaches. You'll need 1 cup of water, 1 cup of milk, 1 stick of butter, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and then just enough cinnamon or cinnamon sugar for sprinkling on top. So let's go ahead and get started. I start by putting some water to boil in a saucepan over the stove. Then I use a paring knife to score the bottom of each of these peaches. I'm just barely cutting the skin, making an X on the bottom. This will make them easier to peel later. I then carefully drop the peaches in the boiling water for about 15 to 20 seconds. Not long at all. That's all it takes to loosen the skin so we can peel them. Then you take the peaches out of the boiling water and quickly place them in an ice bath. Here again, they don't stay long, just half a minute or so they cool down and you can peel them. Now take your knife and find where you scored the skin earlier and just peel from there. Finally, I'm going to slice them up, placing them in a bowl as I go. I'll squeeze about a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice on top and mix them a bit and set them aside. Next, in a large bowl, I'm going to mix together the self-rising flour and 1 cup of sugar. Then I'll add in the milk and whisk it all together until smooth and set it aside while I make the simple syrup. For this, it's equal parts water and sugar. I'm putting 1 cup of each in a saucepan over medium-high heat, and I'm stirring until the sugar is fully dissolved. Then we can add the sliced peaches and bring it to a boil. If you're working with frozen peaches, just add them in at this point. And if you're working with canned, you can skip this altogether. You let this come to a boil, then lower the heat and let it simmer for 10 minutes. While that's simmering, preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Put an entire stick of butter into a 9 by 13 inch baking dish and place it in the oven to melt. Now that the butter is melted, pour the batter over the butter and do not stir. Then spoon the peaches over the batter as evenly as possible, but again, do not stir. The batter is going to bubble up over the peaches on their own. Make sure you pour in all the syrup as well. If you're using canned peaches, use everything in that can. Sprinkle with cinnamon or cinnamon sugar. I'm going to use a little of both. And bake it at 350 for 30 minutes. Ooh, it smells heavenly. When it comes out, it's golden and bubbly and smells of cinnamon. As hard as it is to resist, you have to let it cool before cutting into it. Well, I've got the vanilla ice cream ready to go, and I think this peach cobbler has cooled down enough. You still want it to be warm enough to where the ice cream melts on top. So let's go ahead and serve some. how beautiful this is with all those peaches covered in a thick, gooey syrup and that sweet layer of bread. And now the ice cream is starting to melt. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Oh my goodness. This really is the best peach cobbler you'll ever have. I really hope you try it, and that you try it with fresh peaches and tell me if it doesn't make a difference, because it does. This is really good. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, give it a thumbs up, and click that notification bell so you know when my next video comes out. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.